We've all seen the commercials. You're watching TV at night and you see the tech companies say, we're gonna buy your home for cash. You can move when you want. But how do those really work? What kind of numbers are you really gonna get? We took a deep dive in those, and we're gonna talk about that on this episode of House Rules, Real Estate in Sin City. How's it going, everybody? Jeff Zahler. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of House Rules, Real Estate in Sin City. We're gonna talk about some of these online companies that are buying your houses. You've seen the commercials. As I said, we're not gonna talk names. Some of them have blue logos, some of them have orange logos. And they got great looking families that are ready to move, and they can move whenever they want. But how does that really work? We actually have taken some steps to kind of see what those offers would be. We actually talked about this on an earlier episode of ZP Live on Facebook Live, but wanted to kind of talk about it again. So again, not gonna name names, but we went on to one of these sites, input an address for a home that we knew what the real value was. We actually used my address. So I actually had myself and two of our agents independently give me a market analysis of what we think my house is worth. And we all came up with a number that was very similar. So we submitted our inquiry to one of these companies, and about 8 hours later, which is actually really good timing, got an offer, like a legitimate offer. Now that offer was about $25,000 cheaper. Hey, you know what? Not bad, right? Quick offer, don't have to show the house, don't have to do anything, don't have to pay commissions, right? Well, that's where it gets a little fishy. So on top of that number that was $25,000 less, they said that their actual fees were about 7 to 9%. They weren't even very specific. So they said 7 to 9%. So they're offering less. On top of that, there is a 7 to 9% transaction fee. By the way, commissions are generally speaking, again, they're always negotiable, but usually less than that. And furthermore, you actually had to pay your portion of the closing costs. So realistically, those fees were close to 10% of the value. So they're offering less, and on top of that, they had about a 10%, 9 to 10% transaction fee when it was all said and done. In the end of the day, you gotta remember, these companies have to sell your home once they buy it for market value. Maybe a little bit more. They can be patient. They can throw the home on the market and show it and put a lockbox on it. But they're still not gonna, make twice as much money or whatever. So they are working on thin margins. So the only way that they can make money when they buy your house is to give you an offer that, at least on paper, looks reasonable. But when you look at the fees, you look at the fact that you're still paying closing costs, it's really close to what, much lower than you think, right? Going with a professional agent, if your home is if you have the ability to sell your home with a normal market period, you're more than likely going to make more money, right? Even if you use the commission structure, and even if you have closing costs, you're gonna make more money just because at the end of the day, these companies are selling your home or buying your home for less and then ending up selling it for what you could probably sell it for on the open market. They're putting the home on the MLS, why don't you? That's really it for today. If you have any questions about any of these companies, again, made it through the whole episode without talking about them. There are a lot of them, and guess what? There are more of these companies coming every day. In some instances, they are good for you, right? If you have a situation where you need out, sometimes that is the best option. So we're not saying it's not the best option for some, but for most, it is still the best option to put it on the market and let the market dictate your value of your home. If you have any questions, Jeff Zahler, Zahler Properties, and thanks for tuning in to House Rules, Real Estate in Sin City.